You know what it's like? It's winter, it's cold, it's horrid. Everyone feels like rubbish. And you need some food. You need some food that's going to keep you warm, keep you happy, and fill you up. How's about pea and ham soup? Homemade, proper homemade. I'm hungry. I'm hungry. I'm hungry. So what do I do when I'm hungry? I cook. So, let's cook. So doing pea and ham soup. Now ham is basically pork. So we've got pork loin steak. Some people use ribs and all that, but nah. Then we've got potatoes, because you need potatoes, obviously. And then we normally use dry peas, which is why I'm filming this one, because for the first time ever, I couldn't find dry peas. So I'm using tinned peas and onions. What could possibly go wrong? So the first thing you need to do is, well, prepare the ingredients. So get your knife out and a chopping board. First up is the onions. So you chop one end off, the other end off, chop it in half, and then just rip skin off, and then like that, like that. Now you want semi-fine onions, you don't want super fine onions, but you just chop them up, and lo and behold, you've got chopped onions. All you need to do is do that for the other half and the other onion, and you're away. So there you go then, a plate of chopped onions. Next, potatoes. So you can either peel them or leave the skins on. Now, to be honest, I always leave the skins on because, well, I like potato skin. But obviously you can peel them if you want, but I ain't doing that. So I'm going to wash them and then chop them. Now, the thing to remember with potatoes is they are not always good all the way through. And a bit like the onions, you want to chop them quite finely so they mush up, because you don't really want lumps of potato. What you want is you want the potato to be the thickener of the soup. So there you go. You've now got cubed potatoes. So just do that with the rest of them, and chopped potatoes ready to go in the pan. Next, the pork loin steaks. Now, you leave the fat on because you need some fat within the mixture to just give it a bit of flavour and everything else. And you just cube it up, dead easy. Raw meat, Kat's here, she's interested. Very quickly you have, and before you know it, you've got some lovely diced pork. All we need now is a pan and some hot oil. Okay then, so the oil we're going to use is rapeseed oil. So we just get some of that and we squirt it in. Needs quite a bit because there's not a lot of fat with the pork. Then you get a piece of pork and drop it in and wait for it to start to sizzle. Now you notice that the pan is huge, and there's a reason for that, because there's a lot of stuff going in this pan. So what we want to do is we want to make sure that it's not going to overflow. Hear the sizzling now. Put the stuff in. So basically now what we're doing is we're cooking the meat, or at least browning it anyway. Still need more heat. Let's turn it up a bit more. So now we're getting a heat in there. It's actually an old pressure cooker, this. You can cook it in a pressure cooker as well, but I think you get a better flavour if you don't pressure cook it. So it's starting to go a little bit paler. Right, so it's been on for a couple of minutes, and as you can see now, it's much whiter than it was. It's none of the pink is left. Now we're not cooking it at the moment. We're just basically trying to seal in the juices and brown it off a little bit, and then we will add the onions. So you can see it's steaming nicely and it's looking good. So now we can add the onions. Put them in. Now I want the onions to kind of stay oniony, so that when you're eating the soup later on, you can actually, well, you actually know there's onion in it. But we'll let them soften up a little bit. So just leave it to steam in its own juices for a moment or two. Right, so it's been another couple of minutes and the onions are starting to get clear, which means they are cooking. You also notice as well there's quite a bit of liquid in the bottom of the pan. You can see that or not, which has come out of the pork, which is full of the flavour of the pork as well, so we're not going to lose that. We're going to keep that in there. But what we're going to do now is add the potatoes. Chuck the potatoes in, and then, now we know how many potatoes we've got, we add water until it fills just above the potatoes. Now normally at this point you would add the peas, but as the peas are in tins and they're already cooked, I don't really see the point of that. But what we'll do is we will mix it up a bit. Just sprinkle a bit of salt in. Remember, it's a big pan, so you can put more salt in than you would normally. And then mix it around a little bit. And then you put it on a slow heat and leave it for at least half an hour, if not longer. Probably about 40 minutes actually. And then we'll come back and see how it's doing. Right then, it's been boiling for a while, and this is where we go off the usual recipe. So we've got some bigger peas, marrowfat peas. Chuck a tin of that in. I've drained the liquid off there. And then we've got some mushy peas, which should come out. There you go. So we'll add them, mix it all in, and then we'll leave it to simmer for a little bit longer and see what it ends up like. This is a bit where I'm a bit worried. I've got 3 more tins to go though, so I'll be back soon. Well, to be honest, it looks alright. I was a little bit concerned, but it does look okay, doesn't it? There's too many potatoes in there though, so I'm going to not use liquidizer, but use a masher just to mash up a little bit the potatoes. You can see the chunks of pork in there as well. Nice and thick as well. Give it another stir. And then it's ready to serve. Now, like I said at the beginning, this is comfort food. This is food for these cold winter nights when the weather is horrid and the frost is everywhere and it's foggy and you can't get warm no matter what. Well, a good bowl of this will sort you out. And don't forget, you need some bread with it as well. Yep, it's Carb City, but I don't care. I'm hungry. So it's done. Pea and ham soup. It is piping hot. And it's going to be tasty as well. Season to your choice, obviously. And get the bread. Dump the bread in. And it should stick to it like that. That's how the consistency should be. And then just... Even though it's made from tinned peas, it still tastes amazing. One pan, bit of prep, not a lot, just chop stuff up, chuck it in the pan, have a good meal. Central eating for humans. And plenty of meat too. Until next time. Bye. Keep cooking.